Hello there, this is the Beluga Tunes podcast. Andy here. Thank you so much for deciding to listen, and thanks to those of you watching this live. Once again, I'm doing a live episode on YouTube, and speaking of which, well, I thought I'd just mention first of all is I noticed with this microphone, because it's a USB microphone, some of the recordings I've been doing with it, there was a little bit of interference going on, and for a while I couldn't quite work out what it was, because I haven't had this microphone very long at all. I think what it is, because as I'm using a laptop, the trackpad, that can cause interference, like if you press down on it. So that's why I'm going to be using this mouse, in the hopes that you won't get that bit of interference, because it just seemed to come from whenever I press down on the trackpad. So yeah, hopefully this is going to sound okay. And yeah, so I'm going to turn down the system recording just for a second, because I want to double check that it's coming through okay on the stream. Just give me a moment, I'm just going to listen to it. Yeah, that's fine. I'm a little bit on the loud side by the looks of it, but that's okay. I have to remember to turn the system volume up. So yeah, that looks good. Yeah, what do I have in store for you? Well, a few things. The usual 6-minute shout out, and I won't be revealing what it is just yet, but it's going to be quite fun this time around, because I get to actually show you what it is. Like if you're watching on YouTube, yeah, I'll bring it up, bring up the window, because it's something you can find on the internet. So yeah, I'll give you a little demonstration of what it is, so that'd be quite cool. Podflix is back, and I'm going to try and make sure that I get around to watching a film in preparation for each of these episodes. Still no idea. Like this week it's Ray, the 2004 film. And I don't know what the next one's going to be yet, so that'll be something to find out. I'm going to go online and just go to my random movie generator, and just find out from there. And lastly, I will be working on the chapter 11 of the Infinity Express. This is an ongoing story. More on that later, like for anyone who isn't familiar, because if you're watching this on YouTube, chances are you might not have heard a lot of the other episodes that I've done. So yeah, I'm basically working on an ongoing story, and the idea is that it doesn't end. Like even if I stop writing it, there's not going to be an end to this story. It's just going to be randomness, and it's just like a fun way of sort of exercising creativity or whatever. I don't know. It's just fun. So yeah. That's this week's episode. So I think, let's advance to the first segment of this podcast, the 6-minute shout-out.
Adam, that's not funny.
That's right. It's time for the 6-minute shout-out. So let's spin that internet wheel, and round it goes. Yeah. I can see it. Sorry. You can't see how grand this wheel is. It has sites from all across the internet. What's it going to land on? It's slowing down. Okay, tune in now. That's what we've got. Yeah, this is an Instagram account, and so yeah, I shall bring it up. Here we go. Okay, yep. This is new. Yeah, I can actually show you it now. Let me get to it. So yeah, St. Louis Warner Brothers story artist who adds cartoon characters to other people's Instagram photos. And he does have another account that's just like his general artwork at stlewis.art. But this one I'm looking at now is at tune_in_now. Yeah, and it's a great idea. He's just taken random Instagram photos, just like anywhere he can find, and yeah, he's just inserted these colourful characters. I'm just making sure that it is following my so here are some examples. Check this out. So this was the original picture of someone sitting at a table, empty seat on the other side of the table. So this guy added in a moose, of course. So yeah, that's a nice random idea. And let's see, because he always mentions the original uploader. So let's see, because yeah, this one is a guy running along, and he's added in this rhinoceros. So there's a cartoon rhino that looks like it's charging after this. But yeah, so in the description, he's put the Instagram name from the original person who owns this photo, and there's a little comment. So they do notice these, because he tags them, and it's I just realised I have to try and keep track of how much I've talked for a couple of minutes. So yeah, I'll make it about 12. Yeah, sorry. Not doing, yeah. So yeah, it's quite nice to see people's reaction to seeing their pictures included in this this account. Let's have a look. These ones are quite nice. I like the silhouette ones because they're very subtle. There's one of them. Someone's standing on a beach at sunset, so they're in silhouette. So he's added a silhouette of a bear standing on his hind legs, putting his arm around this person here. And again, little comment from the original uploader. So I definitely recommend taking a look. Guy in a boxing ring, and there's a kangaroo with him. This is cool. I really like this. I've been planning on making this a 6-minute shout out for quite some time now. This one is my favourite right here. So there's a woman on a beach. She's just sort of stretching her arms upwards, and he's added this enormous picture of a walrus. So it looks like she's just raising the entire walrus over her head effortlessly. It's really great. It's cartoony, and this one has a lot of comments. A lot of people seem to really like that. That one's gone down well. There's a group photo. It's a picture taken from above, people looking up, and right in the middle there's like a wolf. He seems really into it. There's an underwater photo, the scuba diver, and the bunch of sharks. these cartoon sharks approaching him. Shark Week. Yeah. I just love how all of these pictures are cleverly blended into, like, he gets just the right lighting to make it look like they're part of the. There's one of Jack Black here, and Jack Black's Instagram. So yeah, he's enjoying some pancakes, and there's like a cat. This is the addition to this photo. There's this little cat trying to get to the pancakes. He has a little fork. That's really sweet. Yeah, so I'll just keep talking a little bit more. See, it's different now. As we're doing this as a live stream, it's a bit harder to time myself. So, on one hand, because I'm making it a bit more visual now. But yeah, I basically described. For those of you listening to the MP3, I hope this description is good enough. But it's well worth checking out. So yeah, if you're on Instagram, look up Tune In Now. St. Lewis, he's the artist. He has some great artwork on his other Instagram. You'll be able to find it via Tune In Now. Yeah, so lots of fabulous drawings. If like me, you're into cartoons and quirky stuff, that's it. I definitely I definitely recommend having a look. Tune In Now on Instagram.
I have fallen, and I choose not to get up.
Right, so now I'm doing the Podflick, which is Ray, the Ray Charles biopic. Normally, in the this part of the episode, I would normally play a clip, which I don't think I'm going to be able to do, mainly for copyright reasons. Because with iTunes, they seem okay with me. Well, I suppose Apple Podcast, as I should call it. Yeah, their policy doesn't seem quite as strict. You can play any audio clips. I think they prefer it if you give credit, which I sometimes forget to do. This is kind of a New Year's resolution. I'm trying to make sure that I give credit, but yeah. So I no clip this week because this is a live YouTube broadcast. But what I will do is go to the IMDb page. Just a second. Give me a minute. Yeah, so the first time I saw Ray, I think, was about 2006, because it was on television. I didn't see it when it originally came out. Yeah, the first time I saw it, I was blown away. I thought it was amazing. And I think because the idea of the film always fascinated me, because I never really knew an awful lot about Ray Charles. But because when it was in production, and this was before Ray Charles passed away, and yeah, it just seemed like an interesting idea. And apparently he died shortly after they finished it. I think he was invited to a preview screening, and obviously he died around that time. But yeah, it was 2004 when he passed away, I think. Yeah, so this film wasn't really intended as like that was never really the reason, like the reason behind it. But the funny thing is, because I remember because I think I watched most of it because it's very long. It's nearly 2.5 hours. Yeah, because I just remember at the time it was just this. There's something about it that there seems to be a kind of magic to it. I don't know. Here's what the storyline is. It says here on IMDb: the story of Ray Charles, music legend, told in his adult life. I think that's a typo. Adult life, with flashbacks to his youth. We see his humble origins in Florida, his turbulent childhood, which included losing his brother and then his sight, his rise as pianist in a touring band, his writing his own songs and running his own band, and then stardom. Also includes his addiction to drugs and its effect on his working life and family life. So yeah, I watched the first 2/3 of the film in 2006. As I say, I loved it at the time. I loved it so much I went out and bought the DVD, and the next time I visited my parents I was like, we need to watch this. It's a really amazing film. I don't think my parents were quite as impressed by it, and like I said, I didn't know a lot about Ray Charles. I imagine a lot of this film is fabricated and romanticized, and one thing that I remember my mum saying is they seem to dwell a lot on his addiction to drugs, and you know, I suppose it's one of those things because I'm guessing that, you know, because that's one thing that they wouldn't make up completely. As I say, it's you know, there are just little aspects of it, I suppose, that may have been altered slightly, but I feel like, yeah, it's hard because, as I say, it's a long film, but the main reason for that is when you're telling someone's life story, it does kind of have to be long. I feel like they could have shortened it a little bit because, you know, as I say, nearly 2.5 hours. I think I just struggle with any film that's longer than 2 hours, you know. And I almost wonder what it was about watching it in 2006 that made me like it more. But I don't quite have that same love for it. According to IMDb, the popularity has decreased. I think it says, because they have the little popularity graph. It says it's down 245. But you know, you kind of expect that. These types of films, they kind of start out as a huge hit, and over time people just tend to not really think of them quite so much. And so I would say it does have a lot of problems. Would I watch it again? No. In fact, I don't actually own that DVD anymore. It is one of the, because I gave away a lot of DVDs around that time, so it was interesting. I think it actually could have been shorter. I don't really know what to say about the accuracy of it, but yeah, I kind of agree with what my mum said, because even when you're talking about someone who did have an addiction, you can sum it up a bit easier, because there is that rehab scene, which is quite an important scene. I don't think you could lose that. but a lot of the scenes that build up to that, I don't know. I think they could have been handled a little bit better. It's not something that I never feel like I can kind of get out a red pen and be like, okay, this is what you need to change and go over the script. So I don't know. I don't know what could be done to improve it. It goes on for very long, and actually, because I was thinking, it's apparently an independently produced film, which surprised me because it just seems very Hollywood. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. Don't love it the way I used to, but never mind. So yeah, now I need to find out what the next film is going to be, what the next one is that I'm going to talk about on this podcast. So yeah, do I have the suggest? Okay, because the site I use is suggestmemovie.com, I think. Give me a moment. I need to. And here's the thing, because I don't always go for the first one that comes up. Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to go with this one. Bitter Moon, 1992. It's one I haven't seen. They usually are. It's funny how many films there are that I've never seen before. So that's next week's. If I do one next week, that'll be for the next episode. Bitter Moon, 1992.
Don't put this on your tape. Don't put this on your tape. Whatever you do, don't put this on your tape.
Okay, now I'm going to be. I completely forgot to put up the artwork. This is what happens when it's live. Infinity Express. That's what we're doing now. If you've heard my previous episodes, I've been working on this story, and I'm basically to write it. I've just been getting random words from is it randomwordgenerator.com? That's the one. Because when I do a pre-recorded episode, it's quite simple. I record myself going on this website and reading out the random words that I find on it. Then I go away for a bit and come up with a little story. And so far, it's all inspired me to make this story about 5 travelers on a train, and you can see their picture if you're watching on YouTube. Those characters are Lisa, she's the one in the middle. The one on her, the one on the far left is Becky. The one on the far right is Suzette. The one in the top hat between Becky and Lisa, that's Teresa, and behind them is Shane. And they're just like random characters. They all come from like different universes, because this train is able to travel to different worlds, and so there are just infinite possibilities, and it's just a really random ongoing story. So with each episode I like to do a new chapter, and I'm on to chapter 11 this week. So you're probably thinking, am I really gonna sit here for a bit and write a new chapter? No, that's not what's going to happen. I've already done that, and you're about to see it because I've had it recorded in preparation for this episode. So yeah, that part, it's all written now, but I thought I'd still include the part where I go online and find words from randomwordgenerator.com. So new words, new names, new numbers to inspire me to write chapter 11 of the Infinity Express. Okay, so yeah, this is where you're going to see me get those random words. So right there on the screen is my first word, relinquish. Let's okay. Yep. So I'll just generate a noun next. Here we go. Wife. The noun is wife. A verb, please. Debate. Now a name. Right, so we're going to go with Enoch Robinson, are we? That's a new character, a name that shall appear in Chapter 11. Enoch Robinson. An adjective. Immediate. Let's see, these are good. I am happy to take your donation. Any amount will be greatly appreciated. Like a Christmas carol. Phrase. Popular phrase. Fool's gold. Meaning, iron pyritis is a worthless mineral that resembles gold. And finally, a number. Here's the thing. I don't like the random numbers between 0 and 9. That's too limited. So I'm going to knock it up to between 1 and 1,000. 961. So yeah, because you do get a lot of choice. You can choose 0 to 9, 1 to 10, 0 to 99, 1 to 100, and so on. Yeah. You can also choose like a number of numbers, so that there is a lot to choose from. So that's randomwordgenerator.com. I have my words now, so it's back to the live stream. Yes, it is, and I have the completed chapter right here. So yeah, from those prompts, this is what I've come up with, and it's terrible, but I'm going to read it anyway. Teresa refuses to relinquish her diamond-studded hat, no matter how hard Shane tries to persuade her to. Shane doesn't want the others to know, but he wants to give the diamonds to his wife. He suggests that they have a debate over who should own the hat. The others think this is silly because the hat is clearly Teresa's rightful property. Teresa knows all about the greed of Shane's family and how Shane works for Enoch Robinson, a rich, jewel-obsessed tyrant. The immediate disapproval of the other three members of the group angers Shane, and he tells them he is thinking of abandoning this expedition. When the others tell him he should go ahead and do just that, he walks over to Suzette and says, "I'm happy to take your donation. Any amount will be greatly appreciated." Suzette is a little confused. "What's all this about a donation?" she asks. Shane says nothing and holds out his hand. Not wanting to enrage Shane anymore, she hands him a piece of pyrite, also known as fool's gold. Shane smiles and adds it to his collection of 961 pieces. So that's how it works. That's the story so far. It looks like they're kicking out Shane. Or will they really do that? I think now that I've done an illustration that has all 5 of them together, I think we know he won't be gone for long. But yeah, that is Chapter 11 of the Infinity Express.
I'll take 2 cheese pizzas and some crazy bread!
Well, the time has very nearly come for me to send you all on your merry way, and I'm going to do this new thing now, because I've set up an end screen, so I'll put that up, so you won't be able to see me now. I'll take the chat off as well. Yeah, so by the way, speaking of the chat, in future, if you want to suggest any 6-minute shoutouts or even films you want to hear me talk about, feel free to mention them in the chat, and yeah, let me know what you think I should talk about. So in the meantime, mustn't forget, as I say, I'm going to start crediting the clips that I'm using. The clips I played this week were from You Talking You Two to Me, Jontron, Weird Al, Game Grumps, and I was going to play one from Hollywood Babylon, but I don't seem to have got around to that. But that was in the system, so yeah, just to be safe, that was on the list as well. So yeah, I can't tell you anything about Comic Book Club because that's not happening anymore. But my website is belugatoons.com, BELUGATOONS. Not only that, I have a Redbubble store, belugatoons.redbubble.com, and I have some news because if you've been listening to Video Gaga, that's the other podcast that I do, you can now get Video Gaga t-shirts. I haven't got around to putting them up, on here. That wasn't something that I had planned. But maybe in the next time I do a live stream, I will show you those lovely shirts and also clocks and mugs and all kinds of other things from Redbubble. So yeah, it's great. We've actually got because I thought now that we've done so many episodes of Video Gaga, we should have some merch. So yeah, that's all available now. So yeah, go to belugatoons.redbubble.com for that. My Twitter is @belugatoons, and this podcast's Twitter is @belugatoonspod. This podcast can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Acast, and Deezer. So I think that's more or less everything. This is only the second live stream. Maybe I'll work out some of the kinks. But yeah, thank you all for listening. Thanks to those of you who listened live, and I hope to do more of these. I don't know, not all of them are going to be live because it's a bit awkward, bit stress-inducing. Well, no, not really. But thank you very much. Take care, everybody. Theme tune. Here we go. Thank you very much for listening, and bye-bye.